Welcome to CARICOMP Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence. A deepfake costs about $10 to make. Defeating 3 independent biometric sensors at the same time, that pushes into nation-state territory. The gap between those two numbers explains why multimodal biometrics might be the most underrated defense against synthetic identity fraud. If you work anywhere near identity verification, you've probably watched deepfakes get cheaper and more convincing every quarter. That's unsettling. But the conversation almost always focuses on face recognition alone, as if that's the whole battlefield. The real question is, what happens when you stop relying on a single biometric and start layering them? Face plus fingerprint plus voice. Does stacking sensors actually change the math for attackers, or is it just security theater with extra steps? The math changes, and it's not a gentle slope, it's a cliff. Say a face system on its own rejects imposters at a rate of 1 in 1,000. A fingerprint system rejects at 1 in 100,000. Combine them independently, and the joint false acceptance rate drops to roughly 1 in 100 million. That's not addition, that's multiplication. Each layer compounds the attacker's problem geometrically, not incrementally. Picture a bank vault with 3 separate lock mechanisms, a combination dial, a physical key, and a retinal scanner, each designed by a different engineer using different blueprints. Cracking one teaches you absolutely nothing about the other two. NIST's face recognition vendor testing program has actually documented this gap. Presentation attacks against 2D face systems alone succeed at measurably higher rates than attacks against systems that fuse face with a physiologically distinct second modality. Why? Video generation leaves no fingerprint, literally. A deepfake can fool a camera, but it can't simultaneously produce a living fingertip on a capacitive sensor. And voice adds yet another dimension that's easy to underestimate. Modern voice biometrics don't just measure pitch. They analyze over 100 acoustic features, subglottal resonance, microtremor patterns, formant transitions. Those characteristics come from your physical vocal tract anatomy. The shape of your throat, your nasal cavity, the mass of your vocal folds. A voice clone might nail the surface sound. But passing that acoustic analysis while also spoofing a fingerprint liveness check and a face depth scan in real time on separate hardware? Each sensor has a completely different attack surface, different failure modes, different physics. No single spoof bridges all 3. That's the critical distinction most people miss about liveness detection versus modality fusion. A multimodal system doesn't just match your identity across layers. It independently confirms each sensor is reading a live person, not a fabricated artifact. A silicone fingerprint can fool a ridge sensor. A printed mask can fool geometry analysis. A clone can fool acoustic matching. But all 3 simultaneously, that's where attacker resources collapse. Most people assume stacking biometrics means more friction for the user. The opposite is true. Well-designed fusion systems capture sensors in parallel, which actually speeds up verification for legitimate users. All the added complexity lands squarely on the attacker. So, simple version. A single biometric is one lock on a door. Multimodal biometrics multiply the difficulty for attackers exponentially while keeping things fast for real people. A lone face match isn't just weaker. It's a fundamentally different category of evidence. As deepfakes keep getting cheaper, the systems that survive will be the ones that demand proof no single fake can deliver. Full breakdowns in the show notes. Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.